They all go down to Joseph, but they don't agree. Did I bore you with that? I apologize. It's just one of the things you do if you're going to look at this stuff carefully. Now, when you're with your friends, you can pull this out and say, hey, look, man, you're talking about these genealogies. Look at the problems here. You go, and they'll think you're a genius. Because they haven't even thought about these things, 9/10 of the people that you're going to be. Not that that's what it's sort of noise would give me a break. All right. So now let's go to the birth of John the Baptist. We can do the birth of John the Baptist in Luke, but I'm kind of tired of Luke at the moment. So let's skip that. Is that the next thing in your thing? Let me go over to the appearance of Jesus. I guess I wanted to go, all right, let's look at here the birth of Jesus Christ. No, I can't because Luke's got all that. No, I'll have to do it. Okay. Now, from that moment on, in the synoptics, as we call them, Mark hasn't even appeared with any material, has he? John had his nice prologue, but there's no material from John. When is the first time we can follow Mark? When does he jump into the picture here? Here we go. Part 2, that's where I wanted to get to. I'll just skip over to part 2. I don't have the energy to do the rest of part 1. At least mine's divided into part 2. Mark 1:8. Mark 1:1-8. Matthew 3, Luke 3. So if we follow, and then John 2 is, John also, I should say, is John 1:19-28 is the next thing in John, you see? So what am I saying here? In Mark and John, we do not have all this extra material about the birth of John the Baptist, the relation of John the Baptist, his mother, to Jesus' mother, allegedly, the Matthew material about Jesus' birth, the 2 births. I'll go back to the birth next time. Which one is in the manger?
I'm wondering just...
Wait, I got a question out there.
Yeah.
Which one is in the manger? Luke. So if Luke's in the manger, where's Matthew? He's at home, isn't he, I think? Why does Luke have to take place in a manger? Because there was no room at the inn. And therefore, we have the shepherds and everything in the creche and everybody sitting out in starry night in these wonderful bucolic pastoral scenes, right? Yeah, but that's only in one gospel. Luke, who is the most fertile literarily speaking. Matthew, have I lost you guys? Anyone lost? I don't know, do you know your gospels? I mean, heck, I'm not supposed to know the gospels as well as most of you. Anyway, I bet I could debate the gospels with your pastors. I bet I could maybe even on a quiz show get some winning points. Anyway, Matthew has Jesus living in Bethlehem all the time. So he doesn't have to be in a manger. Most people don't realize that. Most people say, well, yeah, you see there's a manger and there's shepherds. Well, these people arguing about shopping mall scenes of creches and things like that, there's no real argument. If they want to put a creche in a shopping mall, that's their own business. Well, it's just an aesthetic thing. It really says nothing because it isn't even verified in the scripture. Matthew doesn't have it. because Matthew, there's no room for it. There's no room, not that there's no room at the end. There's no room for the creche. Because in Matthew's scenario, Jesus is born in before 4 BC, right? Why is he before 4 BC? Because from our Josephus, we know that Herod died in 4 BC, and Herod is, at least allegedly in Matthew, still alive when Jesus is born, because Herod wants to kill all the Jewish children. We'll get to that episode next time. Right? So, Jesus is chronologically about 10 years older than Luke's Jesus. I'll get to the point about all the other material that they've seen. So you have to try to keep it straight in your mind. Why? Because you're doing historical Jesus now. You're not just doing Scripture. Scripture is Scripture. Historical Jesus is a difficult, tough study. And you may not even get to a conclusion, unfortunately. It's so difficult, so...
Matthew's version is 10 years old, 15th version?
Not 10 years. The version is a presentation of his age. Sure.
Matthew's version.
Of Jesus' age.
Yes, 10 years old.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll get that in a minute. What was your question?
Are we talking about the genealogy of Jesus himself?
We went through that issue. I already said that the church says, no, it's Jesus' mother. And then the other one says it's Jesus. Of course, it's supposed to be Jesus' genealogy. And we just said they both go down to Joseph. That's why they're giving it to you. But it's been made obsolete by the new doctrine of the supernatural Christ. That is, Christ as the Son of God. In other words, the people presenting these genealogies probably hadn't even got to the point of the Son of God doctrine that comes in the 2nd century. That's not, that's why you have different layers of material that are being absorbed into the narrative. It's hard. We're not talking about just a narrative. We're talking about narratives that are layered over a period of time, and traditions that grow up after certain things are promulgated. So your question is good, yeah. Well, are we talking about Jesus? I have to go back. I thought I skipped more. Yeah, the book is a generation of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, Matthew 1. That's what it says. And